I'll just give you the timeline.
Yeah, man. Okay, cool. This is, let me see. It looks like we're recording, and I'm assuming it's going to do the camera thing for us. I think we're just able to talk. Okay, this is called Zoom. I'm with Chris Devereaux, as you were just telling me.
Everybody does that.
Okay, and you have brain cancer, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so we're just gonna roll from here.
Okay.
As you imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Explain to myself and my friends about the brain cancer thing, and then we'll lead into the rest of the thing you're working on.
Well, my story is so I'm 43 now. I was diagnosed in 2010, which is so I was 35. Healthy, doing triathlons, just in good shape, and then 2010 was, and I was also getting married that year. The year basically started out in January. I was with my buddies in Colorado on doing the bachelor thing, and then in February of 2010 we all went to Mexico and got married in Mexico. My wife's family has a house in Mexico, and by summer I'm having a seizure and laid up in the hospital with a tumor on the top of my head, and it was just so unexpected because I had no signs, no numbness, no things that were going on in my life. I mean, there were a couple things that after the fact that kind of were peculiar, but yeah, I had this grand mal seizure and rushed off to the hospital, and that next morning they did an MRI and saw the tumor at the top of my head, and they're kind of like, well, I mean, the only way to find out what it is we need to operate and get in there and do a pathology report on it and see what kind of tumor it is. Maybe it's benign, maybe it's nothing to be too worried about, but so we did the surgery that next day, and then they immediately sent off the labs and found out that it was at that time an oligodendroglioma, which is kind of back then when they were doing grades, it's a grade 2 of 4. So I guess everybody says, well, that's the one you want, whatever. And they were like, so we need to actually, let me back up. They didn't do the surgery. They were like, we need to do the surgery to find out what it is. So a couple days, one day later, they got me all ready for surgery. This is another kind of crazy story in itself. When they got me all ready for surgery, and they were just going to go do it. They were going to go get as much as they could, cut out as much as they could, and then the main reason was to do a pathology. So they put me under, wheeled me in the operating room, and literally I blink my eyes and I'm out of the operating room, but everybody has this crazy look on their face and running around, and I'm just kind of like, what's going on? And the nurse was like, well, the nurse or my friends or somebody in the operating room were like, they weren't able to do the surgery. I was like, what? It's like they weren't able to do the surgery because the radiologist lab, they didn't take the pictures that your surgeon wanted. Like they did to about here, and he wanted them all the way down to here. So he wasn't going to do the surgery unless he had all the pictures. And of course,
man, what a pain.
Total pain, because I was under. I mean, I was completely under, and that's dangerous in itself,
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
And he was, I mean, I've never seen somebody, and this is, well-respected surgeon in Dallas-Fort Worth, if not America. He's always in American Way magazine. And so he was so pissed. I mean, just so pissed. And so a couple of days later, after they got the right shots, we did the surgery and everything. But they were, man, the hospital was just on like code red for me, because I mean, they fucked up big time. I mean, they completely screwed up and didn't know which direction I was going to go. Am I going to get all lawyered up and, and all this stuff? I had my buddies there, buddy that was a lawyer, had a buddy of mine that was in the room with me when the whole staff came in, was talking to me, and he's recording the whole conversation on his computer and everything. And long story short is that, I mean, they pretty much, I mean, I probably could have taken this another direction, but it just wasn't the right time for me. I mean, I just, with all that was going on, but they ended up, paying for pretty much every bit of my hospital stay, which, I don't know, 50, 60, $70,000.
Whoa.
So not the doctor's surgery, but the hospital, all the hospital stuff. So, so they did right in that regards. But, anyway, so like I said, that's a story in itself. But, after that, yeah, had the surgery, and then, went home. Went home a few days later, and then the pathology came back that it was a it was oligodendroglioma, which is basically kind of a slow progressing brain tumor. But that just really depends on where it's located. I mean, it can be slow, behind your eye, and you could lose your eye, or it could be, in the center of your brain, and it just really doesn't matter. Same thing is kind of like saying a tumor is benign versus cancerous. I mean, cancerous, yes, means it's progressing, but a benign tumor in the middle of your brain can be just as bad as, one that's cancerous, just because of where it's at.
Right.
So, but yeah, so that's the story of that. And then I found out that it was, a grade 2, which, they say, it's definitely better one to have, as far as lifespan. But nobody knows these things. And but fortunately
When
for
was
me,
this? When was?
2010, August 2010.
Wow. So okay, I keep going. I don't mean to interrupt because this is a long time later. You're still
I
here.
know, yeah. So I mean, I'm doing well. So I mean, yeah, I mean, and that started the whole. I ended up searching out, the right neuro-oncologist. Interviewed a couple different ones. I knew that I wanted to try to be, even though I didn't know as much as I know now about health and about diet and about, all the different aspects of cancer. I didn't know any of that stuff hardly. So, but I knew that I need to learn about it, and I also knew that, just what I had just scratched the surface on anyway was juicing. So, I mean, literally on the way home from the hospital, we stopped by, a place and bought a badass juicer, and, we found out everything we needed to know about just juicing as much as possible, carrot juice and everything. And it probably wasn't, and I'm online reading about different things, and finding people on Facebook and stuff. And it's probably less than a year later than that I met Chris Warwick. And so, and then I started following him and following his path, and doing all his stuff. But yeah, for that first year, I did do chemotherapy. It was a low grade pill, Timidar. And the only reason I said I would do it, because my neuro-oncologist said, listen, I don't think we need to do anything else right now, but I think if you did this low grade chemo, it's showing a lot of signs with brain tumor that it's not going to, you're not going to lose your hair. You can still work. You can, you can function. You don't get sick. So I was like, well, that sounds okay. That sounds reasonable. That I don't have to go through all the traumatic of,
Yeah, because
chemo. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really hard on people. It's
Oh my God, terrible.
Yeah, they
Terrible.
want to die sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially, younger people.
Yeah.
They just can't, their body just can't make it. So anyway, so I agreed to do that year of Timidar, and which was an oral pill. And, I went back to work and was golfing and feeling good. I mean, I was tired every third week, but it wasn't bad. And then once that's done, man, I really, that whole year, we really kind of started diving into, nutrition. We started diving into reading about diets, and other people that have been through this and what they did. And again, that's where I met Chris. Chris was probably Chris was probably the first person, and he was just getting started with a lot of his stuff, 7 years ago. So, I mean, he wasn't really out there too much, but he was out there enough where I found him. And then,
Yeah, that's when I met him. He wasn't
yeah,
famous yet. That was before Ricky Lake and everything.
yes, yeah, right before that. Yeah. So, yeah. So, but he gave me enough words of encouragement and wisdom and stuff and things to think about, even though I wasn't totally committed to the health food, health diet, detoxing, all the different things that I do now, enemas. I mean, everything that I do now. I didn't know a lot about it. I was just trying to learn. And so, of course, everybody's like, when are you going to do chemo? What's next? Radiation, all this stuff. And I was like, man, I'm just going to get my body kind of like Chris said. He's like, I'm just going to get my body as healthy as I possibly can. I do triathlon, so I'm in pretty good shape. Not overweight. So I think if I just can maybe stave it off for a little while, maybe by eating right and doing all those things, that maybe in the meantime something else will come along that will extend my life. And so that's basically the short story of the last 7 years, is I've just been tweaking my diet. I'm now fully vegan. I've been to the Gerson clinic in Mexico for 3 weeks. And learned about detoxing and all the stuff that they do down at Gerson. So, I've done as much research, and of course I don't know when it was. I don't remember when the first Truth About Cancer came out, but it was all over that, when Truth About Cancer came out. So,
Right.
and then met Ty, and I've just been all over that whole scene. So, for the last 6 or 7 years. So,
Yeah, you even stumbled across mine, right? The IQ.
I found you through Chris, because I think he was on your show.
Yeah, or he
Um,
interviewed me actually. I think the first time.
yeah, and I think that's when you gave him a T-shirt or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember all that. Yeah. I don't know why I'm just now getting in touch with you, but yeah, I've been following you for a few years as well too. So,
Right on. Well, just so everybody listening, Chris Wark, he's a very good friend of mine, and he's in I Cure Cancer Part 2. Whenever I get that actually out, but he's definitely in there. And his protocol, I'll let you speak more of it, but it's basically, he tells everybody, and I actually agree with this. It's cool to go vegan for at least a couple of months. I did it myself for my prostate, and I swear that's what did it. I slowly incorporated proteins like meats back in, stuff all organic. Once in a while I have cheat days, but and basically I try and stick to organic. If the vegan thing's working for you, great. If not, like if you ever start losing your health again, maybe try incorporating the salmon, the bison.
I do a little bit, like we're not that strict, but maybe on a vacation or something, if it's a good fish, I'm gonna order that fish. So it's just I love fish, so but it's maybe once a month, maybe at the most, but no meat, no dairy, for sure, no dairy.
Okay. Yeah, cool. And what about, so you only did the chemo for 1 year, right?
Right.
And then the rest has been all holistic.
Well, no, I did. I had to do last year. I had some fluid behind my left eye, and just came out, and I was starting the center of my eye, or where your blind spot is in your eyeball, was coming to the center of my eye, and so I was starting to kind of lose sight in my left eye, and and I talked to my holistic doctor. I've got several holistic doctors. I even talked to the doctors down in Mexico, and told them everything was going on, because I didn't want to have to do anything that any radiation or anything like that, if there was another way around it. But I talked to everybody and told them exactly the situation. And they're like, I mean, in this situation, you know, we don't see a terrible issue with doing radiation, because it's a little spot, and they say they can get it. Obviously, you're taking a chance. I didn't want to do it, but I ended up doing radiation last year for 6 weeks, and it completely got rid of it. It got rid of the spot. There was some fluid with some cancer cells in it, so that's what it was in my left eye. And so I ended up doing it. I was, like I said, I didn't want to do it. I thought I was on the complete health train, and I still was. I mean, I think the only reason I've gotten through everything that I've gotten through is because I keep in such good shape and eat so well, and diet, and have a lot of I've gotten rid of stress in my life. I've got wonderful wife, and all these amazing things that I think have kept me healthy. I'm still doing triathlons and events like that. So in fact, while I was doing my radiation at MD in Houston, every day I was running around Rice University on the path. So I mean, 10 minutes of radiation, and then I'd go run a few miles. So I'm, and making my juices, and my wife would make my juices and everything. So I breezed through that 6 weeks. Never even felt bad or anything. So I really, and I think, for some people it wouldn't be that way if they weren't healthy. But I think because I'm so healthy that it really, I breezed through it, and it completely got rid of that little spot that was in my eye, and that was a year ago. And every MRI since then has been clear. So
Excellent.
So I can't complain, even though I didn't want to do that, but you know what, it worked. And that kind of made me, as much as I love a lot of some of the truth about cancer, and Chris and everybody. I just think everybody does kind of have their own path, and I think it's whatever works. I think for me, I'm, I necessarily didn't want to do radiation, but I do so many other things to make my body strong, that I've learned through you guys and all the people that, it just, sometimes it just takes a combination, and my combination is mostly health food and exercise and enemas and oxygen therapy, ozone therapy. I mean, I do everything I can, so on a daily basis, juicing, so.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you 100%. If I was your coach, I'd be saying, yeah, because I say whatever works. And because I learned this from my master, Reverend Lynn. She's an Essene master. Jesus Christ was an Essene. I'm an Essene. Joseph and Mary. I mean, hardcore mental, meditations and stuff.
Yeah.
And she said, some people, it depends where you believe. What are you believing right now? You finally came to that conclusion in your head that little zap ain't all that, and it worked for you,
Yes.
So your energetic field was ready for that. If you would have went against that, as much as maybe I would have been saying, well, just get your pH up, it would have went against your rhythm.
Right. Yeah, you're exactly right. I was 100% for it when it got to it. I was like, I'm just gonna work out. I'm gonna drink my juices. I'm gonna do everything I'm supposed to do, and then let that radiation take care of itself, and then be done in a few weeks. And that's exactly what happened. I made a good time of it. Exercising and working out and everything. So
because we're all frequency, right? And that was
right.
You don't have that thing growing on you anymore. So.
Yeah. Well, and there's plenty of people that you run into in the hospital that are, have the bad attitude, or have, or just think they're about to die. And you know what? They're probably going to die because that's all they think about. I mean, so, I mean, it's the mind is amazing,
Yeah. The people that have cancer, if it works for them, they get a lot of attention because, oh, you poor thing, they don't do well. Or, there's a few of them. You got to really want it, man.
You do have to want it. It's work. I mean, you got to take a responsibility for, I mean, the doctors do their thing, but there's so much that you got to do yourself. It's what I tell other people. I'm like, man, it's, if you want to live, till you're 70 or 80 or whatever, there's a lot you got to do. You've got to literally right today, you got to make a commitment that you're going to change your life. It's not going to be a diet for 6 months, a diet for a year. You're going to change your life from now till the day you die. You're going to change your diet. You're going to change the people you're around that are negative to you. You're going to change your job if you have to. You're going to move if you can. I mean, there's so many things, that contribute to the toxicity in your life, so you just got to be fully committed.
Absolutely, well put. Change the channel now. It's just
Yeah.
change the channel like you did. If you're my age, you used to have to get up off the chair, use the thing.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. It's a frequency we're all on. And nowadays, I mean, I don't know. I meditate a lot, and I'm trying to become even more optimistic. So I feel like things are great. Things are great.
I do too. I wish I meditated more. My wife does a lot of yoga, and I do sometimes, and I'm trying to get into meditation, but I haven't fully committed to it. Sometimes I've gotten into Wim Hof's breathing exercises.
Yeah, awesome.
He is so cool. And so I like those. That's kind of a cool form of meditation.
Well, you're meditating when you're running and when you're trying.
Yeah.
That's your meditation. And I know, because mine used to be that I was doing my road work, or I was sparring, fighting. You're on that state of satori where you're not even thinking, you just naturally do it.
No, you're in that flow state.
Yeah. And as you'll get older, like me, I'm hitting, like I'll be 50 next year, and I'm enjoying the slower meditations, the yogas, as opposed to the constant grinding, pounding.
Yes.
Especially in the joint area. But it's all whatever gets you to that level. When you're younger and you have that chi, you need other things. But as you get older,
and I've been hiking a bunch lately, and I'm doing this big race in January, and I've found that the hiking, I went hiking in the mountains. That's really, in the last couple of years, the best place I've found to get into that flow state, because you're just really focusing on where you're stepping and where you're going and stuff. And that's, I know with yoga, my mind will still wander in yoga, but like when I'm hiking or running, I'm really kind of focused, in that flow state where you're really focusing on where you're stepping and that kind of thing. So that's the best meditation I found. So.
Yeah, it's those darn yoga classes are filled with so many pretty women. I lose my
a lot of nice asses in there. I'm sure. My wife's got the best one.
Okay. There you go. You're a lucky man.
But yes, you're exactly right. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas, and there are a lot of pretty yogis in Texas.
Yeah, man. That's
California's the same way.
Yeah, I'm still single, so I'm actually, you never know. Maybe I'm not just going for yoga. Maybe I'll meet my wife.
Right.
There's method to my madness.
That's awesome.
So now, what do you got coming up? You're not only helping yourself with trying to stay alive with this approach, you're spreading the word.
Yep.
And you have something coming up soon.
Yes. So I've been for the last, as far as work-wise, I've been working in the auto industry. My best friend's family has an auto group in Texas, Alabama, and Oklahoma. So I've been working for them in finance and management and stuff like that. But this year I've taken off because I wanted to do this race called the World Marathon Challenge. And a friend of mine who also had brain cancer, she did it last year. She was the first one with brain cancer to do this race. And then I'll be the second person in the world with brain cancer to do this race. So it's called the World Marathon Challenge. It's 7 marathons in 7 days on all 7 continents, starting in Antarctica. So we'll meet in South Africa. The whole group, it's like 35 or 40 people. The whole deal is chartered. So there's no airports
when
really.
You sent me that, I was like, I didn't get it. I'm like,
yes.
Now that you're telling me, I'm getting. I'm like, but I was like, no way. There's no way.
I know. How do you get to all those places in 7 days? Well, there's no hotel rooms. We sleep on the plane. It's you run, get on the plane, run. So Antarctica is the #1 place. Then we fly back to South Africa, and that's #2. Australia is #3. Dubai is #4. Spain is #5.
Oh,
Across the ocean to Colombia, it's #6, and then we finish in Miami on the 7th day in February. So, yeah, no hotel rooms. We're in a plane the whole time, and yeah, that's it. So
whoa.
it's crazy, and there's different types of people that are going. I mean, there's I know my friend Beth Ann Telford, she did it last year, and there was a bunch of marathon, like world champion marathoners, Olympic marathoners on it that did it. And then there's just a lot of people that doing it maybe because it's a bucket list thing, or they're doing it for a charity. So I'm doing it for Kids Shouldn't Have Cancer charity, which is a friend of mine's charity. And but yeah, that's why I'm doing it. So I'm trying to raise some money for that. So
Awesome, man. That is
yeah,
amazing.
I know it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like there's it's starting to grow. It's been going on for about 6 years, and every year it's growing. This year there's like, I mean, now there's starting to be some famous people on it, like sort of famous, but like the owner of the Florida Marlins baseball team's doing it, the mayor of Miami's doing it, and then there's somebody else that I can't remember who it is. So it's starting to get some publicity. So
I wouldn't know that the mayor of Miami would be in good enough shape to do
I
something.
know. I don't know. Our mayor here in Fort Worth, she's a triathlete. So it's pretty crazy. You wouldn't think it if you saw her, but she's in amazing shape. So yeah, I don't know.
That's
You
amazing. Yeah. Human
think,
beings today, the upper echelon, the 1% elite, they're not the scumbags that ruin everything. They're guys like you,
right?
that go out and do that, or
Yes.
whoever's going out and doing something special,
Yeah.
regardless of what's going on.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's about living.
Yeah.
It's my saying that I always go back to, and it's not original. I got it from a movie. One of my favorite movies, Get Busy Living, is the same. But if you ever watch Shawshank Redemption, where he's like, get busy living or get busy dying. That's my motto. So
Yeah. Oh, I got shivers on that one, brother.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I'm getting ready to go and teach a seminar in Toronto with Leo Laux coming up December 2nd in Toronto or Kitchener, Ontario. Check it out on my Facebook, folks.
I will.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of teaching?
Not so much anymore. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
on this list to get my hip replaced, which is actually going to be January 5th.
Uh-huh.
I just found out. So, and this is after lots of thought and lots of holistic trials.
Right.
I tried everything on it. And
Yeah.
my friend Raul got me to, I can walk straight and well without a limp for about a half hour or so because of the yoga and everything else.
Yeah.
It's bone on bone. So I've, and there's a cysts already growing in there and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like you kind of were sort of against the
Yeah.
radiation. I'm a little sort of against surgery.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
You tried everything else. I
Yeah.
mean, that's, it's not like you didn't try everything else. So,
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
and you're still young. I mean,
Yeah.
how you're 50 with that amazing head of hair is awesome. I'm so jealous. I used to have hair like that.
Thanks, man. I'm surprised. I didn't know if I was going to be able to grow it out again because once my hairline goes too far back,
Yeah.
but I had just enough left.
No, keep it, brother, man. Keep that as long as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Keeps me young. It's funny because I knew somebody was like, you got to get a haircut. I'm like, but this might be the last time I can grow it out.
That's the thing. If you get a haircut, it might be the last one you get. So you need to hold
I think
on.
what I'll do though is I'll let it grow for a while and then I'll give it to the kids with cancer or whatever.
Oh
or
yeah.
The people
Cut the ponytail off.
Yeah, because that's what I did last time. The last time I grew my hair was in my late 20s, and I thought that would be the last time, and I gave it to the same thing. So that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
So what's the website people can go to support?
So the best place is probably just to go to my website because I'm still kind of getting all the as far as fundraising and stuff. But if you just want to find out about me, and then find out about the race. And then on there will be links if you happen to want to follow me as far as donating. If not, it's not a big deal, but you could at least follow me. But it's just chrisdevereaux.com. So it's CHRIS Devereaux DEVERO.com. And and the charity that I'm actually running for is called Kids Shouldn't Have Cancer, and it's a friend of mine's son died of brain cancer at 6 years old a couple of years ago, and so they started this foundation. And it's a good foundation because it's really geared toward some good places that are specific on research. It's not a pharma driven places, or so they're really they really believe in the right places that are doing the right type of research and stuff. So I'll probably have my own foundation one of these days. There's just a lot of work to kind of get together in the last minute, but yeah, chrisdevereaux.com, or my Facebook page is the same thing as Chris Devereaux. And the race starts at the end of January and ends on the day after Super Bowl Sunday, so that Monday. And we'll be in Miami partying it up. So
wow, right on. Well, I'm going to be following along for sure. This is cool. I was thinking, does that plane need a camera guy or anything?
I know. What's funny about that is that when my friend Beth Ann did the race last year, that's exactly what I asked her. I was like, hey, can I be your camera guy and document this whole thing? And they didn't have enough room, and it was price tag is about $20,000. So I was like, well, okay, maybe I'll just do the race. But yeah, I'll be recording. I'm gonna do some live broadcast. When I get to Antarctica, and just do some live Facebook, so people can watch on that and stuff. And
actually, what am I saying? That's cameraman. We're not needed anymore. Everybody's got.
I know. Everybody's is their own cameraman. Yeah.
Which is great, because I've always been about content, not about
yes
prettiness. I mean, prettiness is fine, but it's got to be.
Yeah. People don't care. I mean, you could go out and buy all this crazy expensive equipment, and all they care about is what they hear and who they are watching and stuff. So
I love it. Yeah.
But I'm gonna start. I meant to already start it, but just been a busy year. But I'm gonna start a podcast too. I want to do a video podcast like this. So so I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna take this when I'm up and running and replay this on my website.
For sure, man. And feel free to interview me someday if you want.
I will. Oh yeah, absolutely. If you don't mind, I'll just come back on and interview you either right before the race or right after the race, or maybe if you're ever in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, then did you come here last year for Truth About Cancer? Because it was here.
No. The only I love Texas though, because I went there and I shot a guy named Jay. He's a musician there, local guy at the college town. It's called Two Colleges or something. Don't you have a place in Texas called College Town? Or
Texas A&M is in no, I'm trying to think. Austin's the big college town.
I think it was like the city was called College Town or College something. Anyway, I had a good time there. The Texans are the only ones that I know that can drink more than Canadians.
Oh, really?
They put me to shame, and that never happened. That never happened.
Yeah. We like to drink beer, and I don't, but whiskey's a big one, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, that's what got me. I mean, I'm not.
There's a couple big whiskey plants here in Texas that are huge, so that are really good. Some young guys started a couple of them. So
yeah, man. They drink it like water there. I was unbelievable. Because Canadian, most of the states I go to, I can hang. I'm usually better, but in Texas, I was like, whoa, you guys are crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun state. But yeah, that's the deal. So just have to follow me, and let's definitely stay in touch for sure, man. I'm really glad to be on here, because I I know all the people that you've talked to and interacted with, and all of your content that I've watched over the last couple of years. So I firmly am on your side on so many different topics. It's crazy. And I know a lot of that's a lot of the things that Chris believes as well too. But I just
Where is your stance on CBD, THC, cannabis?
oh, so I've been there's a company out of Colorado called Mary's Medicinals. And so I've been using them. I found them, and I've always been a pot smoker, not heavy like I once was, but I mean, definitely still did it. And then I got introduced to, the CBD and really investigated that and investigated Mary's Medicinals. They're out of Denver. And 6 years ago, they were one of the first CBD companies out there that actually had scientists, had a lot of money behind their company. And they still do, but there's a lot of more companies now, but their quality and what they do is unmatched as far as their CBD. And they've got a medicinal company, and they've got a nutritional company. So they got Mary's Nutritional, where anybody in the United States can buy from them, because Texas, we can't buy anything with THC in it.
Right.
But you can buy from the nutritional company, which is just CBD. If you want the medicinal side, which is the 1-to-1 THC, what I do is I fly up, every couple months and get from Mary's. I'll get patches that I wear.
Yeah.
And I'll get the tinctures, and so that's what I do. I've been using CBD, marijuana, and CBD combination for 5 or 6 years. So
right on. Good. That's, I was gonna, if you weren't, that was the only thing I could add to what it sounded like you're doing. And then the Dr. Bernardo protocol, because if you must have watched Josie's video that I've had up there for a while, Dr. Bernardo and Josie, the brain cancer child.
Yeah. I know Dr. Bernardo.
Yeah, he's my man.
Yeah.
He's the guy that starred in ICureCancer.com, my movie.
Yeah.
He treated Josie, and she had brain cancer. And this is before cannabis came out. He never even he knew about it and said it was okay, but he didn't harp about it because Rick Simpson hadn't come out yet, saying,
Right.
"Crap, you guys, skin cancer, forget about it. Other cancer is pretty good,
Yeah. What do you think about Rick Simpson's oil? I've never tried it. I don't know. I do know people that have used it, but I haven't. I've been pretty satisfied with what I use.
It's basically probably the exact same thing that you get there. Yeah. They just call it Rick Simpson oil because he discovered that if you take cannabis oil, he called it hemp oil for a while until everybody got confused and got mad at him for doing that. Because if you go to the store and buy hemp oil, it's actually hemp seed oil. It's no good. Yeah. So there was a lot of confusion, and also there's confusion with his oil because he uses naphtha, but it's naphtha light from Canada, which is different than the naphtha in the States. So people would make it from naphtha from the States, which is horribly nasty, disgusting stuff.
Right.
They blamed it on Rick Simpson. This is just a Rick Simpson nutshell story for you because he's a friend.
Right.
But he basically started the whole cannabis oil thing, and that was the story behind it. He called it hemp oil, but now everybody pretty much just calls it cannabis oil.
Yeah.
Which is like when I was a kid, it was hash oil that we would read on papers and put little tobacco in there.
Yeah.
I never did. I was a good kid, but my friends.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm definitely a believer in that, especially what the oil has done for people with seizures and kids with seizures. I mean that those results are remarkable. These kids that have 30 plus seizures a month, and then they get on the oil and stuff, and they're down to 1 or 2 a month. It's awesome.
Yeah, man. And I've heard parents say it works for their vaccine injured children too, as they're detoxing them and trying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and especially if some of them are just so out there,
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of educating people about vaccinations because there's so many people out there that still think that they're good for you, that the reason why we don't have smallpox is because of the vaccines, when truthfully we just learned to wash our hands after going to the bathroom. was
Yeah.
really happening. If
Yeah.
you look at the charts going, they go down. They were going down when the pharmaceuticals came in. They
Yeah.
go, pharmaceuticals come in here, and they go, look,
Yeah.
the diseases went down. Yeah, they've been coming down this whole
They
time.
were.
They actually went up when they brought in the vaccinations.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
are you educated in that subject too?
Yeah. Not anywhere where you are, but I mean, we don't have any kids, so thankfully I don't have to deal with those questions.
Right.
Um, um, but I don't, and I don't know. I wouldn't, I don't know how I would fare on if I had a child and vaccinations and stuff. Maybe just the bare minimum. I'm not really sure because I don't believe that they are healthy. So at least the schedule that they have for kids right now.
Yeah, it's
Just shove
horrible.
all that down. Yeah,
60, 70 shots they give you now. When
yeah,
we were kids, it was 3 or 4, period.
yeah. I think my mom told me I had like 10 or 12. Which,
Yeah,
you know,
unbelievable.
I know
So
it's.
if you had kids, trust me, you would do the research and learn what you did about the chemo and stuff.
Well, yeah, I think so too. And I mean, that's how I am when we just talk about food or dairy or all the different toxins in our food and metals and stuff like that. So I sure wouldn't let them drink Coke, or I wouldn't let them eat a lot of meats that are out there and a lot of fish with lead and all the different poisons in there. So
Yeah, yeah, right on. Um, the before it escapes me, the concoction Dr. Bernardo had with the I almost said guacamole, avocado and the carrot. Have you seen that combination?
yeah, what was that exactly?
If it's in that Josie video, so again,
Okay.
just for yourself, since you're dealing with it, check that out again, because they have a recipe where it's avocado. They squish it all up and they added the carrot juice or something. And there's something, because Bernardo, I didn't even know this at first. My other friend who learned through me told me that what he was doing with whatever's in that drink is what they're trying to do with chemotherapy, and they can't. So he's done it naturally. And that's
Yes.
what
Yeah.
Josie was drinking as a baby that had this brain cancer and was fried from that's Josie's story for the people watching.
Yeah.
She had brain cancer, and they fried her with the radiation and the chemo, sent her home to die. Bernardo got a hold of her, gave her the natural holistic protocol that I still teach, and she pulled out of it, and she's still alive today. She's 18 plus. I should be able to interview her now. Her dad wanted me to wait till she was 18 because he was so afraid that they would come and get her or something, because
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You never know, man. You're still a property of the state.
yeah, yeah. So now she's over 18. I'm going to be able to interview Josie. Finally, it's coming to see you, Josie, I hope.
Was she born with a tumor, or did it happen
Oh,
later on in her life? I mean, as far as like 5 or 6 or something.
no, she was young though. I
Yeah.
don't think it was even 5 or 6. I don't want to say, it's been so long. I got to watch it again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
She was a baby.
yeah, she was a baby. And
Yeah.
Bernardo, just that protocol, there's something about it. Some of the haters out there are like, oh, you can't cure cancer by raising your pH. I'm like, oh yeah. Every person I've seen that had a acidic type cancer,
Yeah.
a tumor type cancer, their pH was 5, and when they got on Dr. Bernardo's diet, which is an alkaline diet, juicing
Yeah.
stuff,
It's
their
all,
pH,
yeah.
it
It's
raised
all
to
acidity.
7.2, 7.4, and their cancer disappeared. It died,
Yeah.
never came back.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about being acidic and not being acidic. That's why I love Wim Hof stuff, because his breathing is all about getting that pH level up, so.
That's right. That is, and
Yeah.
that's fairly new, this guy breaking on the scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just correlating it now, thanks to you actually bringing it up in the show. So, hey, yeah, everybody out there, check this guy out about
Yeah. Wim Hof. Yeah. It's amazing. If nothing else, you'll get into a really, once you do, it only takes about a couple minutes. You'll get into a really, really cool place when you learn to breathe and stuff, that you'll be so relaxed. In fact, you might even feel like you're tripping a little bit, because you're just kind of out there. And then within what you come to, it's pretty amazing. So it feels really, really good. And
Yeah,
he's got all kinds of other stuff like the cold water,
right.
all that stuff, which I haven't really gotten into because,
Yeah, he gets into the frigid waters of the earth.
yes, yeah, yeah. So, but
Yeah.
I love that stuff. I love it.
That proves right there, folks, the just get oxygenated, you know?
Yeah.
And there's other kinds of cancers that are pathogenic. My one friend, Dr. Will, he says, like, they'll diagnose people with cancer when they know it's actually not cancer. It's just a major buildup of pathogens. And if you were to take MMS, Miracle Mineral Solution, which kills all pathogens,
Uh-huh.
that goes away, and all of a sudden you don't have cancer anymore. Well, you don't have the pathogens, what you don't have. You know, that MMS also cures herpes, by the way. 3 of my friends I've seen have bad herpes and lose it by using MMS, FYI.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not 100%. I think one person told me it didn't work for him, but and I
Yeah.
know one other guy it didn't work for, but he didn't get the right. I don't think there's a couple different ways of doing MMS.
Mhm.
You have to really look into it, and you got to get the right kind. That's the strong amount. Usually within 3 weeks of taking the drops, you know that you get a 1 drop more every day. So the 3rd week you take 21 drops of this sodium, whatever chloride. I don't know what it is, but it's
Uh-huh.
nasty. But it kills all the pathogens in you. And they say the side effect is you'll throw up. And that's when you know you don't have the pathogen anymore.
Right. Right.
And that's what a relief for the people that had like herpes. That's like luggage, you know, horrible luggage.
Yeah. 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 For
I don't have
sure.
that anymore. That, you know, some people really love me in this world.
That's for sure, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
FYI on that one. Man, well, let's see. Are we forgetting anything?
Well, yeah. Follow me on my run. And
As far as you're concerned, you're like, are you in remission, or you just you manage
well, I mean,
managing the cancer?
everybody's got their different terms for it. I don't think with brain cancer you're ever fully in remission, because it's even though it might be really slow, or I might be able to get it to where it's barely progressing. It is still progressing, and maybe I can get it to where it completely stops. I mean, it has for a while. So I
Excellent.
don't, I just don't believe in that, and you probably feel the same way, that remission's a true thing, because we all have cancer in our body, and it's just a matter of how we're treating our bodies, how we're feeding our bodies. I mean, because it could come back just like that, if we're
Yeah.
go back to our bad habits, and go back to our stress, and go back to our, our toxic way of eating and drinking and stuff, that cancer's going to come right back. So, I mean, remission's just a matter. Remission to me is just how you live your life. If you decide to go clean and do all the right things, then I think, yeah, you are in remission. But I don't think of it that way. I just think it's just tomorrow I've got to just make sure I do all the right things that I'm supposed to be doing, and
Yeah.
and I'll be good, so.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, and even if you didn't have brain cancer, you should be doing this anyway.
I
Everybody,
know,
right?
but you know what? And the great thing about that is, and it's what I tell my parents and my wife, is that, I've literally had, since I was diagnosed in 2010, maybe not that first year, but the last 5 or 6 years of my life have been some of the best years of my life. So,
Yeah.
just as far as, family, and, with my wife, and just, being so healthy, because she's on board with me too. I mean, she works out, she juices, she does all the same stuff that, we do it together. So, which I think is another key thing, that we do all this together. So, she's super healthy. So
Yeah.
it
That's
works well for me to have that partner. So,
yeah. It's a blessing. People don't understand cancer is a blessing. A, for the person that gets it, and B, especially for the rest of the family.
yeah,
Excuse me. It's not so much that it runs in the family, but habits do. So now y'all got new
exactly.
habits, right?
Yep. 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 You're exactly right. You're exactly right. So, I have to, I have to, you never want to say I'm glad I got cancer, but there is a small part of me that says, where exactly would my life be right now without a diagnosis 7 years ago? Who knows? Maybe you never know. But
Yeah.
I think I've learned so much about the disease, and about myself, and about my brain, and I've met so many people, like yourself and Chris and Ty and those guys, and so many other holistic doctors that I would have never met if I didn't have cancer, that have helped me in so many different ways, detoxing, and all these different methods that they've shown me how to do. oxygen therapy and ozone therapy and things that I do on a weekly basis. I would have never done that stuff. And so,
Yeah.
that's, you know,
And
that's
now
been
you're just a plethora of information. You have become the master. I mean, and you've lived.
right.
I tell anybody that if you're curing yourself of cancer, especially for as many years as you have,
Right.
yeah, you got a PhD in it. You're as good as or better. You're better than any doctor out there, oncologist, because you're living proof.
Especially when it comes to diet. They don't know shit about diet. So, yeah,
Yeah,
they just know about pharmaceuticals. But,
yeah, that's too bad.
yeah.
I learned you say about some of the other stuff that I post that you follow along with. Do you see any of the conspiracy stuff with? Because I learned it through this. I was just a regular guy. I didn't know about any of this
Yeah.
stuff. And all of a sudden I found out who Rockefeller was and Rothschild. I had to because of the medical system.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
And it turns out that they're basically up there with the royals and the
yeah.
Jesuits
Oh,
and
yeah.
the
They
Zionists.
pretty much, there's like 5 or 10 families that control this entire planet,
Yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
And
mean, it's the Rothschilds and, the Rockefellers. I mean, yeah, no, I'm way into that. So
awesome, awesome.
fully believer in all those families that they pretty much, have us all by strings and stuff. And we're
Yeah, yeah.
pawns and
Yeah, and you know who is the greatest right now that I'm loving watching is the Gerald Clark stuff. He's like proving the Sitchin writings about the Anunnaki, like the aliens that came down. I
yeah,
shouldn't call them aliens, or us. They're us. They came down, but
yeah,
they made us without our brains turned on all the way. We got about 3% or 10%, whatever. They got the 100. So
right.
we're this Anunnaki slaves,
Yeah,
slave race. I mean, and that's where my next film is going. I'm calling it Space Cadet because some people still call me that, and they mean it, which hurts
yeah,
my feelings.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I mean, just so you know, folks, it's statistically impossible for us to be alone in the universe. There's no way we're the only civilization. So that's my
yeah.
next film, and you like this stuff? You don't mind it?
Oh my God, I love it. I get wrapped up in this for hours and hours and hours. I love it.
Okay,
Love
good.
it. Yeah,
That's
I'll
big for
I'll be
me.
interested in anything that you do because I absolutely fully believe in every single bit of that. And I'm as far as the Illuminati and all that goes, I'm a firm believer that there's just a few people controlling this entire thing. So
Yeah, and it all makes sense. And the Gerald Clark, he just put it all together for us to see it, where it's the Anunnaki. They their hybrid race is the ones that are in charge, the RH negative blooded blue
right,
blooded royals and
yeah,
the Jesuits and the Zionist Jews. Uh, but again, I've got so many RH negative friends that are just amazing people. I've learned that it has nothing to do with that. It depends if you're of light or dark.
right,
So it's forget about even the blood thing at all. It's just it's whether you're light or dark these days. And it seems to me, I don't know if you noticed it yourself, but the veil seems to be lifting. I keep joking to people, you better look good naked because everything's coming out, right? I mean, look
yeah.
at all the people in Hollywood getting busted. Look at all the
Oh yeah,
government, the pedophilia. It's
yes.
it's it's
It's
all coming.
unbelievable. And it's crazy. I mean, just all this is happening like right now too. I mean, it's just like a giant snowball. I mean, it's especially with the pedophilia and all the heads of the movies. Harvey Weinstein and that whole business. It's just it's good because it's good for especially all these women and young children that never had a voice before. Now can come out and
Yeah, and myself, what's funny is the guy's lucky I can't remember his name, but like a lot of people wondered, I wondered why didn't my movie career keep going? Well, I was given that deal,
yeah.
but I'm not, even bi-curious.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yes, yeah.
So
It,
they're like,
it,
too bad,
yeah.
go away. And I'm like, well, bye Hollywood,
Mm,
Too bad. I was having fun too, starring in those.
yes, yeah.
But, I mean,
It's
that's the
crazy.
way it goes because it's a tough world as it is. I mean, it's a cutthroat world just getting a regular job these days.
Right,
Construction
right.
job, you get the stuff you got to put up with, or hoops you got to jump through to get a
Yeah,
regular job.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I know. I agree. I agree totally. That's awesome. Well, good, man. We're on the same path. So
Yes.
I like it. I
Yeah,
like
for
it.
sure, for sure. So I guess that's about it, eh? What's your spiritual? How do you feel? Spirit?
Um, well, I mean, we don't attend church. I mean, I grew up in a.
Good, because that's not spiritual. That's
I
satanic.
know that's not. It's
Just
not.
kidding. 'Cause my church people kind of
I
suck.
know. I know. It's two different things. But I did grow up in a. You know, went to Catholic high school and went to a Christian college, and but I've always been, you know, it, it's just it's for me. It's just what I feel in my heart. I mean, it's, you know, um, I I believe that there's, you know, that we're, you know, basically a shell, and that, you know, eventually that that we pass on to another plane of some sort. You know, not saying that's heaven. That just, you know, we are. The older I get, and the more I really get into it, I just I'm part of that tree. I'm part of, you know, my wife is part of me, and the grass. I mean, we're all in this thing together. I mean, all
Yeah.
of us, you know. So, um, you know, it just that's, you know. So I think, you know, when something gets disrupted in another part of the world, it eventually gets over here in some way, either, you know, um, somehow, either through energy or, you know, whatever. I mean, it just, yeah, I think we're all connected. So I mean, that's, you know, I don't necessarily believe in um you know, Jesus being the son of God, you know, whatever. Maybe that's just a great story, and you know, but at the same time, um I do believe that for some people it's got its place, and, you know, that's their belief, and, you know, but
Well, it
yeah,
turns out God's everybody's dad.
right.
Found that out when I was a kid because I was an orphan. I was like, well, I'm making God my dad. And I'm like, well, he is my dad anyway. Jesus ain't so special.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
mean,
that's cool, man. You got
yeah,
it together. I can tell you're happy. You can see it in your eyes, your soul. You've got a lovely wife that takes care of you, I can tell. And
yes,
so, I mean, as a cancer coach, your cancer coach and friend now for life is
yeah.
there's nothing I can really tell you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome, awesome, man. Well, hopefully we'll get to run into each other, you know, in the next few months, and hopefully your surgery and everything goes smoothly. I'm sure it will, but you know,
Yeah, thanks, man. And I'll probably include some of this in my I Cure Cancer too, and we'll have to do some catch ups, you know, and
yeah, for
keep in
sure.
touch. We'll keep in touch
Yeah,
for the trip.
yeah, and for sure. If you're ever down this way, man, you know, in Texas or whatever, you know, hook up or something.
Yeah, man, for sure. I'll come and
Yeah,
find me a Texas Brad.
sure.
I love
Yeah,
them Southern bells.
yeah. Blonde hair.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
brother. Right
Well, I
on.
appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, man. It's really an honor. Like I said, I've been following you for a few years, and you know, first time I saw you with Chris, and, you know, I knew you had to be a cool dude, and somebody that knew a lot about what they were talking about. So, you know,
Right on, dude. Well, thanks a lot. Well, you guys can always reach me, iqcancer.com or
okay,
Archangel Studios,
okay,
uh, archangelstudios.org.
okay.
That's got a store on it too, some healthy stuff.
I was
Um,
gonna say, you still have t-shirts and stuff, right?
I was thinking about doing them again. Yeah,
Yeah.
get some t-shirts going and stuff.
That one that you had that Chris was wearing, I
Cancer
think,
Killer.
yeah, I need one of those. I'll buy
Yeah,
it. I
I
just
know. That's my friend's back in Canada. He's got. I'll have to see if he's got any more of those. But I want to make something similar, you know, because it's a
yeah,
cool. Yeah,
you should. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris. Well, thank you for your time,
All
and
right, man.
we'll stay in touch, eh?
You have a great evening. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything.
Okay, thanks. You too, brother. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.